Hi, how are you? I hope you are safe. But anyway, before I get into what you're expecting, CVs and resumes and interviews, I want you to forget about it for now. I'm going to introduce a new topic that you probably take for granted, but I believe it's probably the most important when it comes to looking for a job. So, what do you think of when the word network or networks uh, uh, comes into your mind? Like, what do you think of? Let's wait a moment and think about that. So you see, you are thinking, and probably you are trying to relate networks with with your CV and the interviews. Now, the reason why I think this is important is because most of the jobs or people who get jobs, they get them through networking or their network. So essentially, a network is your sphere of influence. By that I mean people you know, people you've worked with, people you've learned with. And it dates back probably to your primary school or high school, if you get where I'm going with this. So it's true, it's tested. You can go anywhere and research. We get most of our jobs through networks. You call your friend John, who is working for Zimplats, and he says, you know what, oh, we want to recruit. Throw in your CV. Some organizations, especially private companies, they don't publish their job adverts like it's a mandate or it's a legal requirement. You see, so your network is your influence. What I need you to get from this video today is you need to actively and deliberately invest in your network. What do I mean when I say that? Look for instances where you can add value to people you're constantly in contact with, people who can help you in your job search. So I will give you a more practical example. Say you're in high school or in college. Join those sporting activities or clubs. Because with those clubs, you get to travel. When you travel, you meet other people. Get contacts from those people. Keep in touch and try and think of ways in which you can add value to those people. So now, when I say value is value, think of it this way: how can you help a John to get from point A to point B? It could be with his brother, it could be with his sister, it could be with a relative who is struggling. I mean, think about that. You want to be that person where people go to because you have ideas. You always have solutions. You're that person who's thinking, you know what? No, let me give me a minute. I'll call you back, and you follow through. You call them back. That's what you want to be known for out there. So when I'm saying cultivate it and actively work on it, is build on it. Come up with a list to say, I want this guy to be in my network. It could be somebody who is higher, way above you, or probably you think you might be there, but he's still higher or she's higher. Look for a way to reach out to them. It could be through LinkedIn, it could be through Facebook, it could be through a Pinterest or Snapchat or Instagram. Get them in your sphere of influence. Write them an email. If they are new to you, write them an email and tell them why you want them to be in your network, why you think they're valuable to you, and what you can provide to them. So, one way that's coming out now is value, 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 value. Why? Because your CV, essentially what it does, it presents your value. Like, you are putting what you think you are worth on a piece of paper. You're trying to document it. And what matters most in a CV is how you present your value. So you see nowadays, potential employees or organizations, they are receiving thousands, if not hundreds, of CVs, and they are using what they call ATS systems, automated tracking systems for CVs, blah blah blah, to filter CVs. So your CV should be designed in a way that it captures what's on the job description and then essentially shares it with the potential employer. So it filters from hundreds of CVs. It brings up, say, 50 or 45, and then they work from there. So your presentation should be stellar. It should be precise. So what do I mean when I say presentation? I'm going to give you 3 tips. Most of the tips, if you click on the link below, you get them. You have to read about it. It's a small investment, and I think it's essential, especially during this COVID era. We need to be that conscious to say, I mean, if you're investing $5 or $10 into improving your CV, and you're going to get a job that's going to pay you, say, upwards of $1,000 per month, I mean, it makes sense. So what do you do with your CV? On your CV, after your name and your city and your email and your contact number, probably your LinkedIn URL, you need that. People are putting that there. You put in job titles where you have worked, what the job titles that you have had before, or those that you aspire to have. So essentially, you are saying, I can do this job. I can work as a finance manager. I can work as a revenue officer. I can work as an accountant. I can work as a commercial manager. I can work as a director. So what are you doing there? You are telling them that this is what I can do. Give me this position, I will deliver. Right after that, you put in a summary. It's more of like a cover letter, but now it's in an abstract form where you're putting everything compact. You're saying you have this experience, you have worked with this organization. In that organization, you have done X, Y, and Z. Why was it necessary? What were the problems that you dealt with? What was the budget that we were working with? I mean, what did the organization achieve after that? So you're putting that into that, so that when somebody looks at it, they see that you can be an accountant, or you can be a marketing officer. You have actually done some marketing work for 5 years. You have worked with an organization and you have delivered results. So you are probably not halfway through the CV, but that's how you're communicating the value now. Just after that, you put in your achievements. Your achievements, I would say, slightly twisting the SMART acronym, where SMART means they have to be simple. Your achievements in less than 3 or 4 sentences. You need to explain in simple terms what you've achieved, and it has to be measurable. It also has to be something that's realistic or attainable, and you should put in a timeline when you achieved that. So why is this important? Your achievements, they speak to what they call the STAR technique, interview technique, where you're saying, you're putting in a situation, you explain a situation, and then a task that we're supposed to do, and then the actions that you did, and the result that you got after that. You see, so with 3 achievements, you can actually communicate that you can execute. Now, let's look at a CV like that and one without those things. I mean, which CV do you think is going to be selected? I mean, the traditional CV, probably yours, where you're just putting in your address, your full address, and then you skip, and then your phone number, and then you put in bullet points, skills, and stuff. Oh, I forgot to mention. Now, what you need to put on your CV are called industry-specific skills and competencies. So these, they change with time. Like now, you'd find that most organizations, they are going online. So if you can communicate that you are conversant with working online, you know how to navigate yourself through Zoom or Google Meet, etc. That's a skill that's valuable to the organization. So you need to make that pop out. So look at your traditional CV without that stuff and one with that stuff. Which CV do you think is going to be selected? I don't want to it's kind of obvious. So moving on to the interview. Again, the interview, I'm going to be pretty quick here. An interview is essentially a 30 to 45-minute pitch of your value now. You moved from presenting, now you're pitching to these guys. And how do you pitch? They have seen your CV. So they have one foot in. They really want to work with you. They've extended their right hand. Oh, nowadays we are no longer shaking hands. Oh, they are saying it's okay, it's okay. We want to work with you, but convince us. So how do you do that? I'm gonna say this: make the CV about their company. How do you show that you are into the company? Do your research about the company. Know the company in and out. So what it does when you are speaking, when you know the company, you speak like you have been with the company for quite some time. They feel you're part of them. You see. So that's all about the what? The interviews. And I've mentioned a lot. Some of these things you have to research on them, and you are going to get a lot in this. So if you really want that good job, that dream job of yours, or if you want to ace your interview, your first interview, this is very important. You need to consider investing, and I'm thinking it's a small amount of investment that you're going to put into this, upwards of minimum of $5 to upwards of $30 if you click on the link below. Anyway, anyway, oh, sorry about that. Something happened. My son was doing something. Anyway, so I was saying, if you really want that dream job, I mean, we all do one dream job. A dream job gives you the freedom to be with your family. It gives you the salary that you feel you deserve. You get to self-actualize, like you feel you're part of the community. You are no longer the societal outcast. I mean, in Shona we call them a marombe, if you get that. So yeah, I think that's what you really want to think about in this. So my advice is you need to invest in your what? In your CV, in your interview preparations. And how do you do that? You need to get products or services that are going to get you there, especially during this time. Everyone, it's tough, and the competition is just dire. I mean, people we are competing for a few jobs, and with the technological interventions that are coming up, the disruption, it's just essential that you invest something in your CV. I would advise you to get a professional to look at your CV, especially in terms of making it compatible with an ATS system. I mentioned that. So click on the link below to get access to unlimited resources for interview preparations, and they are cheap. $5 for your dream job. You forget about it, but it's probably one of the best investments that you can make if you are leaving college now, or if you are looking for any job. You need to take a good look at your CV and you ask yourself, is my CV really, really selling my value? And when you get that interview, that opportunity, you need to make the most out of it. You need to be at your best, and to be at your best, you need other people to work with you. You see, like I mentioned earlier on, in terms of networks, you cannot get a million without knowing somebody who has made a million before. You need to know people who have made millions before. They have to be within your network. That's how you can rise. That's how you can step from point A to point B. It's those people who are going to link you to uh, better opportunities. So click on the link below and get those things. So I hope you got something from this simple video. But what you need to know now is this is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much that you can do in terms of making your CV stellar and preparing for an interview. So cheers, guys. I hope you stay safe. I mean, just be conscious of the environment that we are working in. COVID is real. So be safe, and yeah, protect yourself and protect everyone. So, guys, good luck. Go on and click on the link below to get uh, your full data. Nice. Cheers.